close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first the first week of season 2 of Women's League. My name is the Russian Cthulhu. Tonight, I'm joined by Pi for the first one.
Hello.
How you doing?
My name is Pi.
All right.
This is yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you that clearly. What did you say?
I was just doing the intro, the intros there. How you feeling just for tonight about tonight's matchups that are coming up?
Well, tonight we're going to be seeing Elevate and Apocalypse played out on the first game of the Season 2 Women's League. So it'll be quite an interesting match because it'll be like the introduction to pretty much the entire Women's League. So I'm quite interested to see what they have planned for us, and
Yeah, it certainly should be a very nice, very interesting matchup for us to see the way how teams could be shaping up their whole run throughout the whole season. We do have the map that will be played out. That will be Oregon, I believe, like you mentioned before. Elevate to kick things off on the defense. Any kind of initial thoughts? Because I do remember prior to the broadcast, you said that you were having some kind of initial thoughts for maybe the first matchup here.
Well, So just based on the map itself, Oregon, it's recently reworked to update some of the defender sites so it would be more relevant. From the two teams, I do have my own personal preferences. Um, I think it'll be a good game to watch, but Elevate might have the upper hand in this matchup. Apocalypse is I'm not very familiar with their entire lineup. Whereas Elevate, you'll see that two of their members were actually Vertex from last season, the season one winners of the Women's League. So obviously the odds are already in their favor.
Right. Okay, so this so it kind of could be already kind of from the get-go. It could be the kind of the battle of David and Goliath kind of thing, where Elevate, I suppose, would be kind of expected to find that dub, but Apocalypse are looking to maybe make that early upset here. There are a few kind of new names, I suppose, for even the Elevate roster, as well as Apocalypse. So, I'm just curious how things will come through, because we already just seen just before High School League as well come to the beginning as well, and they had kind of their own almost whole meta kind of all set up. So do you reckon we will be seeing something similar happen in Women's League, where it's going to be kind of its own meta, but kind of getting more closer to some of the higher end of the competition in Siege?
I think most definitely. I mean, if you look at the first two bans that have come out from Elevate and Apocalypse, they're quite standard bans, Thatcher for his EMP grenades and Jackal for his anti-tracking.
Right. For the time being, as we are, I believe, just trying to get Pi back on the line, we have the Thatcher, the Jackal, the Clash ban, and the Mirror. Probably the main kind of odd one to be banned out is probably Clash, but I believe the rest of the operators are fairly pretty much just about as standard as it gets. With the ban, Stature usually is fairly frequently banned out. Jackal probably not as frequently, but still he could probably be quite a nuisance here. We saw through High School League it was playing out quite well, so maybe he will be kind of, he could have been that key to maybe some of the success.
I think it'll be really interesting to see a knock on attack. You don't often see that, especially when the defenders haven't picked out any operators like the Valkyrie, the Maestro, the Echoes, just for those cams. That's what normally knock is used against, to be invisible against all of that. So really here, maybe it would just be like, I'm guessing it might be like an initial rush, or it might be like something quick, something fast, so that those cameras can't spot out knock.
Yeah, Nook could definitely throw a spanner in the works here. I definitely would agree, and it's quite a rarity nowadays in any kind of competitive Siege that we see a Nook to be played out, and whenever she appears, it's almost like seeing maybe a unicorn.
Pretty much. I think the operators out on the defense from Elevate are quite standard picks that you would see. A Wamai and Jaeger is just, it's so commonly seen, especially with Wamai released from quarantine when he was in last season. It just, why would you give that up? Why would you give up Wamai when you could deny all those, grenades thrown in with his magnet disc? They just generate so fast.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, with him, he becomes even more powerful the longer the round goes, and having him alive for pretty much a fair long time is definitely going to only turn probably the side into even more of a fortress, I suppose. But I want to get your opinion, actually, whilst we still kind of, before all the action goes down. Elevate actually expanded on all 3 floors here, with Lola in the attic, Cortari in the meeting room, and then the remainder is in the actual laundry and the downstairs around bunker as well.
I was just about to talk about it. Yeah, 100%. A lot of the times you'll see defender teams reinforce the hatches above, and they'll sort of, at most broaden their control to the second floor, the ground floor. But in this case, we have Lola, who was holding all the way up in the attics. And I don't think that's something that Apocalypse knows or is prepared for, because we can see all of them, funneling in that dirt tunnel. They're looking for a standard attack into Blue Bunker. But I just don't know how they're going to react when, the rest of Elevate just clap onto them.
Yeah, curious how and when the rotations would also come through from Elevate, given that still Qatari is still up above. Lola is still, I believe, only now making the move. So I'm trying to locate her. Oh yeah, she's already now back onto the ground floor and going through the freezers. So slowly but surely rendezvousing back with the rest of the team. The push may be coming through, but do you reckon it will be a little bit more one-sided, maybe?
100%. I think this push coming out from Apocalypse is very linear. There's very little utilization of those Sophia impact charges or Sophia breaching charges.
Yeah, I mean, well, we already see a bit of a odd decision to push by Maddie, and, well, she will be paying with her life for this round. That's the Ying out of all of the ops, and not a single Candela charge, I believe, as well utilized, which is a bit of a feels bad moment.
And this is so bad for Apocalypse. That's a hard breacher taken down by Qatari. Very strong pick from their side. This round seems to be very firmly in Elevate's favor with those crucial picks onto that hard breacher and onto Maddie without using a single Candela charge.
Yeah, well, maybe further down the line we might be seeing a few improvements. It seems that Toki was trying to get a push going, and same goes for Daddy Maddie, but both of them got taken out by Aussie Princess, and, well, that's about all that she could have written there. Really all down to proper Weasel here to try to play it out, but the C4 walks right into it, and it's a flawless round for Elevate to kick things off. My goodness.
I think it was a really good hold by Elevate, but I'm going to be 100% here. I don't think having them hold up in Attic would have changed how the rounds would have gone. I'm willing to bet that, if they full bunkered down inside, held down Laundry, held down all the bomb sites, I think that round still could have turned just the way it did.
Yeah, I'll probably be on the same page with you on this one, because, well, it was a good kind of, I suppose, contingency plan there for Elevate, but yeah, good thing as well, I suppose, for Lola is that she was able to kind of figure out when does she want to rotate back to the side and start assisting the team. But even that, I think even the trio that was there anchoring pretty much felt fairly comfortable thanks to Qatari as well from above.
Yeah, 100%. And those castle barricades that Qatari bring was so useful to deny all those line of sights that you would normally have for the attackers to peek through and maybe get a shot in or two. But with those castle barricades and with Maddie, I didn't see any of her impacts come out to break the castle barricade, which is something she might have wanted to look into doing.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask you your opinion on that one as well, because there were. Do you reckon if there was, say, that castle barricade from the bunker into kind of the main hallway broken, do you reckon having another avenue to peek would have been much more beneficial there for Apocalypse Gaming, or do you reckon it wouldn't have really changed a whole lot of things?
I think it might have changed some things, because we've seen Aussie was holding the pillars, and there was really only one line of sight for Apocalypse to look into, and that was the breach hole that they had formed into pretty much blue. If they had opened up that castle barricade, probably they would have gone like two to like one more line of sight. That would have been more beneficial to them.
All right. Well, for now, it seems that the desire to push the blue tunnel, or at least the construction, has vanished, at least for the time being, and instead we are going to be seeing some pressure to come through to the big tower, where Zero and Lola will be potentially getting into a gunfight, or maybe not. Lola just forfeits her position after not seeing any spawn peak, so for the time being it's just going to be I suppose, a game of setting up. But just as I say that, it's Daddy Maddie who will be finding a very nice shot onto Qatari out of all the people straight in the small tower. That is a fantastic first blood, I reckon.
Bomb located by
I think Qatari was actually going for a peek as well. She just got punished from that, which is very well done from Apocalypse.
Yeah, solid kind of initial punish, which certainly will be putting the initial momentum in their favor. But now with the fact that they are bringing in a Fink as well into the fray, they definitely need to do quite a few very aggressive pushes, I reckon, off the back of those boosts, because they certainly give quite a fair bit of buffs as well as some extra health for those gunfights. Would not hurt in any shape or form.
100%. I think the the best benefit I think really is, the additional fire rate as well as that 25 extra health boost when it comes out. The additional recoil control that you can get from guns with that is just some people like it, some people don't. It's a mixed feeling around it.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard a few mixed kind of feelings about when people say start going for the spray and then all of a sudden the finger boost comes down and all of a sudden you can find your your crosshairs right at the bottom staring into the floor rather than on your enemy. So yeah, I can definitely relate to that one. But meanwhile, we actually have a breach in the attic with Sav potentially being the first person to actually find response to Blushing and Zero.
I think it's good to see. Both members of Apocalypse stacked up like that. I was just about to say, they're looking for like instant refrags. When one person dies, another person instantly trades off that kill, which is what we just seen there with Daddy picking off the refrag against Staff, which evens out your numbers, which is exactly what you want to see happening.
Yeah, with the Elevate actually going in for a very swift retake of the side, it certainly seems a little bit of a chaos there, but Saren with a quad kill, able to really perform there for the team. And the Legion peaks, as well as the push from Lola, will be able to give Elevate yet another round. That was a very confident one, even being with the fact that Elevate was starting the retake with a slight player disadvantage there.
I think the round definitely looked like it was going in Apocalypse's favor, with the number count being up, with the bomb being planted down. But, that clutch just came out of nowhere. Saren just gunned down everyone and just bam, round one.
Yeah, I was just about to say that as well. Yeah, the swing as well through the double window into the main dorms seemed that. Well, yeah, there we go. They took full control of the site. They had the crossfire. Well, they had the angle, a very safe one, but it seems that Saren just didn't even really care about all of those angles. Just went in, swung in, and just got the frags. Just click heads, forehead.
Just click heads. Just click them.
That's it.
I just want to point out a very interesting six pick, seeing that when my sixth onto the Capcan. You don't see a lot of that these days when the Capcan being brought out into competitive play like this. I quite enjoy Capcan. I love Capcan, when you're running too fast and you don't check your corners, you don't check the doors or the windows, and boom, a Capcan trap just blows up in your face, taking off your health.
Yeah, I definitely am with you on that one. I'm definitely quite a Capcan enthusiast myself occasionally. His gun is, as it is, it's already a lazy beam of death if you can control that slight sporadic, occasional recoil. And the more kind of unpredictable your traps are, the more chance they will be able to catch the attackers off guard. Yeah, so that's a beautiful thing about Capcan, but I would imagine that the more he would get picked throughout the match, throughout the season, more times we'll probably be seeing somebody like IQ, Twitch to be coming out to counter directly those plays, because, I mean, without the traps, he's still a pretty decent, but probably not the best one for those kind of scenarios when he's out of all of his utility.
I agree. Capcan is like one of those operators that you pick alongside with Frost. That's like a one-off clutch round sort of thing, where the attackers don't know because you've sixed onto that trap operator and they get caught out of they just don't expect it. They drone, but they just aren't looking for that because no one would do that. And Lola gets the initial pick off onto Proper. That's their Finko gone. So all that stuff we're talking about additional health, that's gone. But she gets instantly traded off by Daddy, picking up that frag.
That is a solid setup so far. Saren, meanwhile, continuing her reign around the showers area, which is going to be seeing Zero off the board. And that is the only Heart Breacher, which is certainly going to be hurting Apocalypse Gaming's chances of claiming the round. But, I mean, 4v3 is still fairly workable, I reckon. Even with the fact that whole of Elevate roster has pretty much rotated and defaulted back to the site.
I think it'll be quite tricky for Apocalypse to take this on because, as we were talking, those Capcan traps, I haven't seen any of them gone triggered. Maybe some have gone shot, I'm not 100%. But, there's also that Legion with his mines to slow down the attackers. There's just going to be so many things to stop the attackers from moving onto site that unless, they get those frags from Elevate being greedy, it's going to be a hard push on the side.
Yeah, Qatari's position is very interesting to say at the very least. Oh, okay. She just proven me wrong, Evan, because I was just about to say that Daddy could have easily flanked her and been able to take her out. But oh, she actually gets a double kill before being traded out. So now it's all down to Blushing Toki, and well, she has about 50 seconds. Maybe she can get a few exit frags, but chances of the straight side take, they're dwindling by the second, I reckon.
100%. I mean, Saren just the round before got a quad kill, so who's stopping Toki from getting that 3K?
True. That's also a good point, yeah. So anything could really happen here, but with timer kind of pressing a little bit more for the time, there's going to be way too many angles to check, and well, it's Aussie to actually get the dub there for Elevate. Actually, 3 rounds in a row now.
It's very good work on behalf of Elevate. You know, that site just then is one of the harder sites to hold unless you have proper strats, you know, things to know how to hold, rooms to control. Obviously, the more preferred site is, as you see, laundry and supply. So it's very well done on Elevate's half to, you know, full hold that.
Yeah, laundry is still probably on Oregon is still one of my rather also very favorite sites to play out, especially on defense. Bring out the mute and pull some like Macy J style like mute tricks as well, because you can still mute jam the hatch, the new hatch. You can still use the very same spot, the old Macy J spot with the mute jammer to just deny even more ground for the drones up on the ground floor. And it's just, I don't know, it feels like Laundry got an even more of a buff for, say, more roaming, more expansion, because that freezer area still allows so many angles to be held by the defense. It's pretty much, you can turn it into a death box for the attack.
Pretty much, and especially with, you know, Saren and Sav with those deployable shields as their secondary gadget, I've seen a lot of setups where one shield goes onto the pillar and another shield goes on laundry, or yes, as they've seen, a shield goes into the blue bunker, and it's just so annoying as an attacker because you just can't peek, you can't do anything. You know, you drone it out, you know they're there, but what can you do about it? You just have to outgun them. You have to break the shield and outgun them and hope that they won't shoot you in the process of that.
Yeah. I mean, I saw during LPL Pro, I believe, one of the times when there was a push through laundry to kind of get off the bandit tricking behind these metal shelves as well. I saw Nomad to use her air jab to essentially knock off the bandit off the position and to try to essentially use that momentum to get the breach. And so maybe a similar thing could be done in the freezer hallway when you know there's somebody there, you trade out those Jaeger devices, then chuck in the air jab. But again, the charge up time also kind of kills the momentum. So
yeah, 100%. And you know, with that Wamai and Jaeger in place, it'll be just super annoying trying to, you know, flush out those ADSs, flush out those Wamai magnet charges. It's just so many projectiles are wasted, you know, well, not wasted, but they're just sucked up pretty much, literally. Yeah. And you don't have them when you want to properly attack the site. Instead, you know, you spent what, 6 flash grenades maybe on a shield that's in laundry. Yeah. Oh, that's in a freezer.
Yeah, it's definitely a very kind of annoying utility dump. What happened there? Is there a bit of friendly fire? Yeah, actually was from Blushing. That is unfortunate for Weasel. But actually, I want to get your opinion on what was Apocalypse doing. They had a 3-2 kind of push. Three people pushing the large tower, 2 people pushing the small tower. Any kind of thoughts on that? Maybe a little bit of a too far of an attempt to kind of spread out throughout the whole map?
Well, I mean, I suppose that the strategy to, you know, tackling the entire building from, you know, left to right, so to say, is just to flush out any rovers, to flush out anyone who could be flanking or creeping up behind them, because you don't want Kokari to flank up behind them as visual as the last round and just, you know, clap them from behind. You definitely don't want any of that. But I would also say this strategy would be more effective if they had 2 hard breaches, you know, Thermite and a Habana, maybe a Thermite, or like, you know, a Maverick as well. Just to open up, you know, wars as well as the hatches. Though I suppose the hatches are soft in this case.
Yeah, Yeah, with the hatches kind of being more so of a bait, things definitely didn't look quite pretty. Whilst Blushing Toki was trying to get rid of some presence in the freezer, it was the demise of her entire team that pretty much happened on the opposite side. At the very least, she doesn't have to worry about the hatch, but there's a long angle set up by Sav, and well, 4th round by Elevate in a row, which is... I mean, we're seeing some progress, per se, from Apocalypse, but is it enough, though, to get them even a few rounds?
Yeah, I think this is a very tough matchup for Apocalypse to go into, especially with the lineup that they have. Having a knock, having a thinker, they're not stereotypically helpful operators. Like, they're very good when you want to solo queue, climb, and ranked, because you can do your own. But when you're in a team environment such as this, even 5v5, you having such a solo operated operators, it doesn't provide a lot of benefit towards the rest of the team.
Yeah, you got a pretty good point there as well. Yeah, with the fact that it seems that even just in general, like the way how Apocalypse players are moving around, they seem to be still kind of in that solo player mentality more so than the kind of an organized group. Whereas Elevate, the girls already looked like they practiced at least a fair few games together, so they have at least kind of, I suppose, the basic chemistry set up there. But who knows? Maybe it's just kind of the first match jitters. Kind of maybe it's just the Apocalypse Gaming members are just feeling a little bit nervous there.
Yeah.
There's a plethora of reasons why there's some performance issues here and there, but hey, you know what could actually enhance their performance? A little bit of quantum energy drink that is also by coincidence well, not coincidence really, but by the good luck is our sponsor for the Women's League broadcast, as well as Computer Alliance and AQ Chairs as well.
I just want to point out
AQ
real
Racing.
quick, the IQ pick on Apocalypse. I want to bet my chickens that they picked IQ because they had seen Lola on Valkyrie. A lot of the times when you see Intel operators pop up, especially like Valkyrie, something that's like her cams are so easily destructible, just one bullet, with an IQ scanner out like this, the gadgets are just so obvious to see. You just spot them out instantly. And those secret cameras that Lola might be throwing just get taken down instantly.
I'm actually curious to see where those cameras are located, because didn't really see where those got positioned, but oh, that's one. Pretty good information gatherer. But yeah, the IQ pick is definitely a well warranted here. Genuinely curious how will she be utilized here, but probably the most underperforming, I'd say, operator that so far I've been seeing is the decision to bring in the Ying, because she has that grand potential to just swing the whole momentum of taking the site into the attacker's favor. But so far, it's been a bit of a unfortunate outcome for Maddie.
I mean, the meme with Ying is that she's a projectile machine, She throws out her 3 candelas, she throws out her 2 smokes that Maddie also has, and she just doesn't stop throwing, But she gets down from a peak from Tower, I think that was.
Yeah, that's Kotari, yeah.
Yep. And that's just unfortunate. Those projectiles spawn instantly. But she doesn't get it.
Yeah, I don't think Kotari actually know that Maddie is down, so maybe that could be used to the advantage. But for the time being, Maddie is going to be bleeding out. I think Maddie might be coming around to assist and get the res up. So at the very least, there's that. But yeah, it's definitely going to be quite a dangerous one. Oh, if only Lola knew that there's a thermite on the opposite side of that wall, that would have been an absolute... Yeah, just pre-fire everything.
Head height only.
Oh, yeah. There's the Candela charges going off. Oh, that one actually did connect to the eyesight of Kotari, so at the very least, Maddie will be able to make a swift runaway. And still very low on health, all down to proper Weasel and Maddie as well. As just, it's all seeming to be falling apart, things just not looking all so pretty, and well, it is Saren to find yet another frag for herself.
Yeah, that's something that I want to criticize Apocalypse on their gadget usage. You have that Ying with 3 candelas, and sure, she threw them in, managed to blind out, but we just seen that vault into the double windows of bunks, I think, and with 2 Ying candelas there, it would be perfect to flush out whoever's hiding behind those bunks. Instead, you get someone on Apocalypse who just blind vaulting in, trying to pre-fire, hoping that they win out the gun trade, but you never want to take things to a maybe. You always want to make sure it's a definite, and you want to use your gadgets to ensure that.
Yeah, that would be one of the rather more preferred ways about it. Yeah, I'll definitely will have to agree with you on that. As certainly not seeming to be working out, at least gadgets-wise, for Apocalypse, but maybe within this round they would be able to figure it out. They are bringing in a Nomad once again for Toki, and generally, kind of, we can see that they got the Thermite, they got the Capitao to kind of close out some of the sidelines. I'm still not fully sold on the Nook pick, but hey, maybe there's hidden strat that hasn't been yet fully realized there by Apocalypse. Because I mean, hey, there's always a plan. It's just sometimes the plan doesn't particularly work out there. So maybe here for round 6, maybe this is where Apocalypse will start getting that comeback, because already a 5-0. There's unfortunately no way to sugarcoat it.
If Apocalypse can claim back 1 round from this attacker, yeah, it's obviously quite hard as an attacker to breach all the defenses that a defender-sided team has done. But if they can claim 1 round from them, that'd be huge towards when the sides flip and when they go on defense. Having that extra round in their pocket, which is exactly what you want.
Interesting that Elevate are making quite late round rotations here, having the attic hatch and the wall opened up so that Lola may get the few rotations into the big tower. Could potentially up the chances. Sure will, as that's proper Weasel gone. The spooky op against another spooky op. Completely now outed.
It's not something you want to see happen, as the first death on your team. You don't want your mystery to get taken down. Whereas if Apocalypse are taking down Lola on that vigil, that's an instant roam clear done. Breathe of sigh on Apocalypse's side, so there's no spooky claps from behind, and Lola gets another pick onto Daddy, and Zero gets taken down as well. This is so bad. Lola's getting so much value from taking such an aggressive angle onto this big tower, and that's just such a benefit for them.
Yeah, it looks like right now Elevate just seeming to be able to grasp the full control of just the momentum. Lola getting probably more and more ballsy about some of her peaks the more she kind of gets away unpunished from some of these gunfights. So curious if maybe Apocalypse will be able to punish Elevate whilst being on the defense. But so far, unfortunately for them, the situation is not looking particularly great, but maybe here Maddie could be able to shut down Vigil. No, she won't, and that's a quad kill. Maybe Lola could even get an ace here. Yeah, that's what's happening right now in the comms probably.
If I was Lola right now, I'd be like to everyone, stop, move, don't. I need this.
don't peek. Let me get the ace.
Don't move.
Let me get it. Don't move yet. If Nomad finds you, just don't click.
Just die to her. Just die to her. And the pings are coming out on Potari. They know she's there. She gets traded out with Potari going for a knife.
Oh man,
that was just so close.
I mean, at the very least, it's a meme for a meme, I suppose. If not ace, then a knife ending for the game. Elevate, interestingly enough, just not planning to really kind of take any hostages there, even though they kind of seeming to be toying around with their prey. They're not kind of allowing even a single round so far for Apocalypse to take, which is, I mean, unfortunate for Apocalypse, but that's a very, very promising first day performance for themselves for the season.
100%, it's always great to start off your first game to be hopefully on a 7-0, if not, a 7-1 or something. you definitely want to have that intimidation factor in as well. Other teams are going to verse you like, oh, they're the team that did really well in their first game. Better not underestimate them.
Yeah, it's definitely the kind of the mental warfare further down the line is certainly going to be coming in effect. And yeah, it's always kind of menacing, almost seeing like when you're one of the teams that probably will be the underdogs coming around and seeing Elevate already kicking things off quite competently on day one is like, well, what can we do? And probably and potentially from the get-go, the players could be getting into that mentality of like, well, maybe we shouldn't be expecting a whole lot of things, or maybe thinking that it's going to be a very tough one. But then
10 seconds remaining.
I'm pretty sure at least once there's going to be an upset. I can bet like at least
5
maybe.
seconds to go.
I'll probably go for a safe one, say $20 on that one.
Attackers have
Just because
located
I know,
Attackers are moving to
knowing
the
my
bomb.
luck, I'll bite my tongue probably like at the first quarter of the season, and we'll be seeing like the very first upset probably the next day.
True, you don't know until it happens.
Exactly.
I just want to point out there are some differences between how Apocalypse is setting out their defense as compared to Elevate. Elevate was going for a very spread out defender approach. They were holding all the way up in attic. They had all the hatches shot. I would assume that Apocalypse has reinforced all their hatches. Oh no, they haven't. Never mind.
Uh-oh.
I'm wrong.
Oh, the laundry hatch as well is not reinforced.
Yeah, I maybe Apocalypse has something up their sleeve, but 9 times out of 10, you definitely want those hatches reinforced, unless you're doing what Elevate did and you're holding above that hatch. Like, you need some presence on that hatch.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're trying to bait them in, but yeah, giving away this, like the entry into the laundry, is certainly quite a big foothold to be given away to the attackers. But I mean, it's a 5-player hold on site, unless, well, they have the crossfire set up, so maybe there's a grand plan there.
Well, the hatch in Freezer gets blown out as well, so I don't think anyone can hold that. I don't think it would be wise to continue holding that, smart decision to retreat back onto site.
Oh boy. Oh boy, Lola tries to go in for the peak, but won't be able to succeed just yet on Daddy Matty. Proper Weasel is going to be waiting for that breach to happen, and maybe going to go in for the peek through, which could potentially net the frag, but I believe that drone still hasn't seen the Jaeger. Now did. Well, with a minute remaining, it's about to go down. Let's see.
I think a lot of the times when you want to, roller getting that double frag onto Daddy and Proper, this is why you need to reinforce your hatches. You need them closed so you don't get collapsed on from all sides. Elevate has breached all the hatches leading down onto the objective, and it's just a free for all. It's just going in.
Oh.
But she gets shut down.
Yeah, it does get slowed down, but yeah, still, it's a full onslaught by Elevate, and already a 7-0 victory, I believe, which is huge for Elevate's beginning in the game, in the season, as their first best of 1 now fully done and dusted.
Every member on Elevate managed to have their moment just then. They all had their kills coming up. Lola being at the head, 13-3. That's a crazy KD. It's
Oh yeah,
unbelievable. So it was a very, very good job done by Elevate. Couldn't wish for anything more.
yeah. Elevate definitely managed to bring some very highlight-worthy gameplay from themselves. It was just, yeah, I don't think we could have asked for any more of a confident performance from them. So, congrats.
Yeah, 100%. It's a well-done victory, and they should be happy with it. It's not something easy to start off a tournament, being game number 1 and starting off with that strong 7-0. You be clapping yourself on the back for that. It's very well done.
Yeah, a few few pretty good ideas occasionally from the pushes from Apocalypse, but unfortunately for them, it's just unfortunately weren't able to find a whole lot of rounds or a whole lot of plays. So maybe at the very least, this will be the kind of the learning process for them. Maybe they will be able to go back to the VOD reviews and just kind of, just take a look, maybe see what went wrong, and then after that, see if they can maybe modify some of their pushes. But that's about it for them. I believe we still have one more game to play it out, but I'm just gonna quickly confirm with the production if we are going to be taking a little bit of a break. Yeah, so we are going to be going on a short break as we are going to be preparing for the matchup number 2, another best of 1. We'll see you just in a few moments. Stay tuned.
Sleep till I come home. Dream of something sweet. I will be there soon to wake you so discreet. We'll to find the loudest tease. We set down by the fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club. I remember the ocean, memories die out too hard. But we were traveling mountains just to find the loudest tease. We sat down by the fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Women's League Season 2, Week 1. We got one more game to play, all thanks to our wonderful sponsors, ZQ Racing, Quantum Energy, Ubisoft, and Computer Alliance. But, Pi, so far we've seen a very, very dominant performance by Elevate, but for map number 2, it's Enix versus Forbidden, and you had a few kind of thoughts about both of those rosters. Any kind of initial impressions, maybe?
Well, both teams aren't actually strangers to this women's league. Forbidden is under a different name as compared to season 1, but they were actually under the name of Viking Army, their org representative. And Enix is still the same team name and same team roster as I could see. So it would be quite a good match to see, two old teams come back and to duke it out again, to see what's different, to see who's improved, what's changed. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, and they actually will get to duke it out on a pretty good map as well, but we'll talk about that later on. Let's quickly, though, take a look at the ZQ MVP prize that some of the teams will be battling it out. So ZQ were generous enough to present their own kind of prize for the MVP of this whole season, who will be getting the V6 Racing Gaming Chair, which is a pretty neato one. It's fairly comfortable as well, so definitely will be something to look forward to whenever the season will be getting close to an end. But let's also take a look at all the teams that so far entered into the Season 2. We have Kingswomen, we have Elevate, we have Enix, Queen Bees, Exto, Apocalypse, and Forbidden Gaming as well. So it's a really nice, really robust roster of teams, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. There's 7 teams this time, whereas last season there was only 5. I'd love to see more teams, especially female teams, get interested in Siege at this level of play. It's so refreshing to see women supporting women to do something as fabulous as this tournament. I love it.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely a great showcase here and a great opportunity for everyone to kind of get amongst the whole competitive environment that it presents, and it presents with some of the really good opportunities as well for all the women. But for now, let's take a look at the 2 teams that will be battling it out. Like we mentioned, it's Forbidden and Enix. Let's take a look at the Forbidden's roster. Would you mind kind of running us through it?
So as before said, this is pretty much the repeating team of Viking Army. You see Mons, you see Weird One, you see Soy, you see Chrissy. They're the same people from last time. The new additions, Diana and Finite, we'll see how they come up, I don't have any data on those 2 players. They're relatively unknown, so we'll see if they surprise us.
Yeah, and there's also Minxie joining in as a team coach as well. You mentioned that she was one of the key players who kind of got you to like some of the maps, and whilst you were practicing back in Season 1 as well, so curious how maybe her knowledge as well would be able to be passed on further down the line to Forbidden's roster here. But let's take a look at Enix roster, another returning one as well. Any kind of thoughts here as well? Because I do believe we have a few kind of newer names here.
Yeah, the same with Forbidden with their new names. I'd be interested to see if the new members of Enix would be, surprising us with any new strats or just wowing us with any clutches as Apocalypse or as Elevate did last round.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Cheesebender and Durkle are the new ones here, but yeah, I do recognize Hard, I do recognize Mint, Chi as well, so definitely some nice recurring names. But also, let's take a look at the map, and the map bans, rather, that we will be seeing them battle it out. It is going to be Cafe Dostoevsky that will be picked out here. Honestly, probably one of my rather more favorite maps that occasionally keeps on seeing maybe a few evolutions of how teams will be playing them out, especially on defense. Any kind of maybe your thoughts as well? Because I remember you mentioned even like whilst we were on break that Oregon is probably one of the kind of the least maybe favorite maps as well.
Well, I have to admit I'm extremely biased towards Oregon. Ever since the rework, I It's my fault entirely. I never, tried to learn it. I never tried to watch it. I played it a few times in T-Hunt just to know the angles and stuff, but that was about it.
Right.
So not my fan favorite. Cafe, on the other hand, when Cafe had its rework, I was so excited. Funny. I played it in T-Hunt. I looked at strats for it. I tried to think up things because it helped Cafe, turn to such a great map where all three sites on it, all three bomb sites, are so equally valued. You have your strong points and you have the weaknesses of the sites. I love it.
Yeah. And the rework of Cafe itself was fairly subtle on a few positions, like the cocktail lounge got expanded with that kind of the heaven balcony. The kitchen itself got an expansion as well, so it was a very much needed kind of buff, similar to how, say, Clubhouse got a buff, where like a few positions were kind of opened up for maybe a few more extra approaches.
Yeah, I seen this Twitter post saying all newbies to Siege won't understand this, and it was a picture of Clubhouse in its old stage, and I was like, wow. Like, I thought I was so experienced with Clubhouse when I seen it. I was like, wow, there were so many things different. It's so crazy how far map reworks have come.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, we are just gonna be transitioning just about in a few seconds to Cafe. The second matchup for today, the first week of Women's League Season 2, just to start things off. And it is going to be Forbidden Gaming to be on the defense here.
I probably see some Intel operator being banned out, like a Maestro, Echo. Oh, sorry. This is Attacker. What am I talking about? Obviously, a Thatcher would get banned out instantly. Doesn't matter which team will do it. One team will definitely do it. Those EMP grenades, no one likes them. And I'm sure both teams have experience in working around it as well.
Yeah, I mean, Thatcher has been kind of... Poor man has been bullied onto the ban bench for quite a while now, ever since the whole 20-second meta came in. But yeah, Maverick will be also taking a sit for this one. Like you said, Echo will be one of the ones to be banned out, even though there was a slight kind of slight buffer when he was banned out from general competitive play due to some technical issues. And it did introduce a few other very interesting bans here and there for the defense. So with him being back, it's kind of like now a must kind of ban for some of the maps nowadays, it feels.
Mira coming out, no surprise, just like Thatcher, Mira and Thatcher are one of the most common people sitting on that ban bench that you never get to see in actual gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, Mira nowadays as well, after so many seasons of being banned out, it almost feels like at this point it's just teams doing it just because they're like almost automatically doing it. They're just so used to seeing her banned out, and I think that even if she would manage to slip through the ban phase, we wouldn't be seeing her appear on a frequent basis. Almost like similar case with, how with like, say, Capcan or Mira, it will be, Capcan and Frost. It's kind of one of those kind of 6-pick surprise picks, rather.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to point out real quick, Enix with that Kali ban. I am a huge fan of these operators who don't get to see a lot of screen time. And actually, Kali has been brought in a few times. She's just sliding in very simply. Her gadgets, is able to disrupt any bandit tricking. She's able to break open surfaces. With that just tiny little drill. And her sniper rifle, so powerful. If you can get her repelling up on piano, she can open up some sight lines straight onto sight, pretty much. Unfortunately, any attackers or any defenders who are trying to anchor down.
Interestingly enough, actually, there are going to be a few sightlines to be held by Kali with her scope as well. That allows to get that 12 times magnification, which should provide just about enough of the zoom in. Just to the point where you can actually just stare into the eyeball of the the operators at that point. But interestingly enough, it's actually going to get castled off. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's pretty standard lineup on attack from Enix. You have your 2 double hard breaches. I love seeing double hard breaches. We didn't see a lot of it when it was Elevate and Apocalypse going against each other. But having a double hard breacher means that, maybe your thermite gets spawn peaked instantly. You still have your Habana. Sure, not as ideal, but just as crucial.
Yeah, Yeah, double hard breach definitely just ensures it's kind of more so like an insurance policy there for the attackers, just in case one thing goes down. At the very least, you get kind of like a second chance, but definitely limits your general kind of performance there. Interestingly enough, I want to point out there is not a whole lot of pressure on that minibar window, which usually sees a whole lot of action. Instead, Kali in the hands of Yoshi will be able to maybe see some action after she bashes down the castle barricade, even though she has the lance. Maybe it's being saved for something different.
I love seeing people bash down castle barricades and you just go 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm not too sure if this castle barricade has been actually hit 10 times before it goes down, but at the very least Diana will have a very nice safe angle to play with, and well, for now it's how did Mint get... Oh, Mint actually got tagged up from the hatch as well. Does manage to actually crawl away pretty quickly, but at the very least Port and Turtle will be down and out.
Attackers recovered the bomb defuse.
That was actually an interesting choice from Min, to choose to self-revive rather than have heart explodes right next to her, res her, because when you use that special passive ability that Sophia has, to self-res yourself, you end up, correct me if I'm wrong, like on 5 to 10 health?
About 5 health, yeah.
Yeah.
but
Whereas
I
if
mean,
an ally reses you, it's 25 health.
I think it's 20.
20?
But technicalities.
Numbers.
Numbers, who cares? But I mean, I think it's just mainly due to the fact that in the way how the current gunfight meta goes, whether it being 5 or 10 or 20, it wouldn't matter a whole lot of time, because most of the times guns have about, like, say 20 to 30 damage per shot anyways, so it's wouldn't, maybe in her eyes, maybe it wouldn't make as much of a difference. I wonder where did that... Oh, the smoke was down below Diana. Fantastic.
Diana's gonna go for that flank. I hope she does. Yeah, that's gonna be so good. SMG-11 at close quarters.
Yeah,
Monster's having... Yeah, Monster's supposed to kill Ihori and Cocktail Buck, and you're picking off 2 instantly with those 71 bullets that her gun has.
Oh god. Yeah, the 70 and the box magazine on Alder is an absolutely nasty weapon to play around, but yeah, it will be quite unforgiving here against Enix, as Forbidden are the ones to take the first round. But do you reckon we will be seeing a much closer matchup here comparative to what we saw with Elevate versus Apocalypse?
Well, I think that first site that Forbidden went onto, that third floor, was actually a very defender-sided site, and unless you're a very coordinated attacker group, attacking you from all directions, trying to flush out the anchors and stuff, you're going to have a hard time going for it. Whereas Kitchen is a lot more 50-50, it could go either way, based on how much verticality Enix wants to take, based on how much roaming Forbidden goes for, it really could swing either way.
I'm definitely with you on that. I certainly do like the way how some of the teams like to go with some of the vertical plays with the Kitchen setup. We saw a whole lot of times, at least, sorry, we saw a whole lot of times even on LPL Pro when it will be Sledge or Buck to be coming in to start opening up the floor right above the Kitchen cooking. And then, obviously, some pressure that can be applied as well from the breachable floor in the dining on the second floor, right above the freezer. Interestingly enough, actually, freezer hatch is soft. So this could be one of the few main points of entrance here for Enix.
Attackers are moving to defuse.
Yeah, if I was that, main in-game leader for Enix, you'd definitely be like, all right, guys, we're going to go for that, freezer hatch. It's soft, but Soy's reinforcing it, so no, maybe not anymore. Very close quarter, very close reinforce. But yeah, I think it's a great setup from Forbidden. They have the castle to slow down any attackers trying to get any angles.
Yeah, I'm loving the castle setups just in general. They occasionally being kind of overlooked by a few teams, a few players, but if you can set up the castle barricades in such a way that you can just deny and force and kind of funnel the attackers through a certain pathway, then you can set up so many just absolutely obnoxious crossfires that the poor attackers just won't even know what hit them.
100%. I don't know if Mons knows that wall behind her is getting her bonnet open. Hopefully she realizes and manages to rotate back onto site because getting that blow would not be beneficial for her.
Oh, it's the wall is muted, so at the very least Mons will know when it's gonna get pre-fired maybe. There's already a contention happening in the red hole where Weird One was trying to get a few shots and actually was able to dish out a fair bit of damage, but it's quite a contestation and a half there to be done.
Just shoot. And yeah, Weird getting that first pick onto Cheese Banner. Yoshi getting that pick onto Finer, and Dinah trading it out onto Potato? What did I see? Yeah, Potato.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that Weird One in this closet right now is so strong because the attackers can't push down red stairs, you know? Weird One's got one half of it, her castle barricades have the other half of it, when they're also muted, as we also said. She's unflushable in this position. Pushing down red stairs and then attackers is just a suicide move, you know? You got Mons on one half, Weird One on the other, easy clap in between. Once you see a setup like that, you just don't really want to push it. Instead, you want to be looking for the weakness of that setup, which is on white stairs. There's very little freezer control. There's very little verticality happening on Forbidden. So if Mint and Hot Exposure want to use their breaching charges, their impact grenades, and open up some holes above, Forbidden could start getting pressured very quickly.
Yeah, well, talking about the pressure right now, Mint and Hard Expose are gonna try to start making some moves here. Both of them are about to walk into some of the defenders, but oh, Soy, just a bit more prepared than Hard Explodes, and well, it's down to Mint Tippet to try to clutch it out. 13 seconds to go, either needs to go for the frags or for the plant, and neither seems to be in the firm grasp as Forbidden will be claiming yet another very confident round. There we go, that's the word that I was looking for.
And indeed they are, you know. All those kills were very confident. That setup was done extremely quickly. And it's just great, you know.
Yeah, not a whole lot of mistakes made there as well. Only a single trade, I believe, we saw from them. So yeah, no, this is definitely looking pretty confident here from the Forbidden roster. Albeit that it's only 2 rounds that we just seen play out, but both of them didn't look like they were the flukes, kind of, you know, how with some of the first rounds you would see just some absolutely wildest strats out there, and then it's a complete just shutdown of just whatever momentum there was ever done.
100%, and that 6th pick from Mons, from Frost back onto Frost, Frost back onto Frost. This is something we talked about, you know, Frost and Catcan, one of those operators you only want to pick up once or twice, because once you do it, the attacker's gonna be like, alright, watch your feet, watch the doors, you know, they're not gonna let that slip by again. But with Mons on that Frost instantly, if I was any sensible attacker, my first thought would be, oh, she's gonna 6-click onto something more reasonable. There's no way someone's gonna be pulling a Frost on this. But no, she's doing it. She's absolutely doing it.
Yeah, she's gonna stick to it. Yeah, that's where the kind of the mind game's starting to come out, when people start questioning whether this was the real pick, whether this was just kind of one of those one-off picks. But yeah, I'm genuinely curious how will it play out, especially with some of those rather more kind of contrasting / obvious spots where the welcome mats are particularly just going to work either if there's going to be a flat-out rush, or if there's going to be or just use them as a kind of the sound cues. But whilst I was blabbering on about that, is Diana actually on a spawn peak, I'm assuming? Yeah, that's a spawn peak and a half, and that's minus Lion. Poor man. Even whilst being in-game gets bullied.
You just don't want that to happen to you, you know, on your Lion as well. This time, Forbidden doesn't have a muse, so any Lion trackers that come out, if Forbidden moves, they could get instantly exposed. But with that instant pick onto Lion, means Forbidden can move however they want without any fear.
I mean, even with Diana's ERC7, that whole gadget is just already in its own whole entirety is just one middle finger to Lion, as it allows the Vigil to pretty much roam easily without being spotted whilst having that gadget turned on. So, go figure.
The amount of times, as I'm visual and I'm downstairs using my gadget, and people upstairs are like, "Oh, where is that visual?" Because your gadget design can go across the board as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the cool thing about Vigil is that you can kind of trick the attackers sometimes to think into maybe he could be on the second floor, maybe on the ground floor, and again, mind games they sometimes great whenever they work out, but if they don't, kind of end up resulting in kind of bashing yourself about it, like, oh, why didn't it not work? Interesting that all three scans were already used up and no kind of concrete closure onto the Vigil, even though Diana is now really tagged up to, I believe, what's just about 1 health.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure all those 3 Jackal scans have been used.
Yeah, all 3 of them.
No. You don't want to get C4 by a pre-placed C4.
Oh, that one is probably the most stinging round because that is a flawless one as well by Forbidden. It seems that they just almost playing just one step ahead of Enix, and for Enix they having some good initial entries here and there, but ultimately just can't seem to be able to find their own kind of mojo, their own momentum to push to force Forbidden through their own kind of paces.
Yeah, 100%. All 3 Jackal scans went out onto Diana on Vigil, but they couldn't capitalize on any of that. She got revealed for so long, but they didn't manage to get a trade onto her. And because of that, Diana was allowed to roam unchecked, and she could wreak havoc pretty much onto all of Enix.
I think it's more so that maybe they were realizing that Diana was trying to force Enix into that kind of a trap whilst trying to bait with her own kind of operator to see if they gonna go hunting for the frag. Maybe she could lure the whole team into maybe a crossfire here and there. Maybe that's what Enix were thinking and why they were hesitant on the push. But even then, there were a few possibilities that were presented to allow Enix to grab those kills, but alas, maybe it wasn't meant to happen, at least just yet. So for now, we are just gonna see round number 4 come through with a bar hold, and maybe we're gonna be seeing here Enix are going to try to stop the general momentum that so far Forbidden were able to gain themselves.
Cthulhu, do you want to talk about what Diana's playing? Or
about that one, I was kind of like slowly savoring kind of the moment there, but the Lord himself has made an appearance. Do you reckon Diana will actually just set up one of her her turret somewhere around, say, the new hatch, or do you reckon it's just going to be just kind of as a meme pick to kind of rub in the salt in the wound?
I mean, as we said before, Kapkan's got a great gun, and Tachanka shares that gun with him. So gun-wise, Tachanka's not really missing out on anything about that, apart from the fact that he's 3 armor and 1 speed, so a very heavy and chunky boy. But Diana's playing, Tachanka so aggressively. She's holding right under the hatch. Is she looking for a frag?
Okay. Interesting. There's the flashbang coming around. Diana is fully blind, and there's a drop down by the Iana hologram, and well, maybe now Diana will actually fall back. Yeah, she does fall back. So after a little bit of a unconventional, let's just call that, of a peak, we'll be just playing a little bit more careful.
I love this confidence coming out from Diana, though, not being afraid to peek on the corners, pre-firing around all those common places that the attackers could hold. She's not playing safe, and you know it.
Oh yeah. She's not planning to really go for some more conservative plays. She is the one to be taking the gunfights there, but this time Yoshi will be able to punish her, so good start, as that's at least already putting a 4v5 situation. I'm pretty sure the turret has not been deployed, so at the very least I know turret
no,
is there, but it's
right
in the
there,
wrong
just chilling.
direction. I think. No, turret is still there to be fully used, so at the very least it can be still utilized by the defenders. But for now, the remainder of the attack, they are still going for a bit of a one-sided push, and only now Hard Explosive will actually try to go in for maybe a flank around here through the reading room corridor and onto the white stairs.
She's got to be careful though, because I don't think she knows that Fina is holding that right above her. Oh no, she's on her cans!
Oh, still able to
But she
find
trades
that. Yeah, able to find
Oh,
that
great,
shot.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
Mons doing some good
15
shots,
seconds
a good
remaining.
shooting there. Does leave only Mint to attempt clutching, but even there, kind of, Zafia ends up having a bit of a snooze on the white stairs.
Didn't see any turret kills though. Not
Yeah,
worth.
that's a bit of a disappointment, but
Yeah.
alas, at least the decision to bring in a Chanka was already a very interesting,
Very brave.
yeah, a quite brave one. Yeah, pick. That's probably the more, the better description of that. Yeah.
Well, we see Diana picking back to a safe pick, more sensible operator that you would see in this map. She's on mute now. Don't worry, guys. All good.
Yeah. Well, we all saved. We all good. I mean, probably the most, the more rather interesting one is going to be the Ella
Attackers need to locate
probably
and
pick
defuse bombs.
out of all of them, and because I would actually be quite curious. No, okay, so it will be a Scorpion Ella rather than the FO12,
Attackers
because I mean, even with the FO12, if say you could be holding an angle, say in the main bar. Sorry, downstairs in the VIP bar, or maybe around the Christmas tree, you could still deal quite a great deal of damage. But I would imagine that, yeah, Scorpion would probably, mid-range wise, would probably be a better decision overall. But
insertion.
still, like, an Ella decision is not a bad one, but probably Hard Explodes could really, at the very least, counter her
Attackers
utility.
are moving to defuse a bomb.
Yeah, 100%. And also with Hot Exposed, you have Yoshi on that Decabi. And when
True.
Decabi first came out, there was this infamous combo of IQ and Decabi, purely because Decabi gives them a call. The defenders have to take out their, little cameras to end that phone call. And Hot Exposed on IQ can whip out her little IQ scanner, scan for any gadgets on the defender side, and she'll be able to spot out the locations of the people who are on their cameras instantly.
Yeah, I mean, pretty sure it's still there. You can still pull it off.
Yeah.
It's just rather it's not as frequently seen or not as intentionally kind of used there. So, but yeah, I'm definitely down with that strat. It's definitely a feels good moment when you're able to connect those shots as well.
Yeah, and then the defender will put like a question mark in chat, and you're like, I just did it. It's just better.
Yeah, that happened. What of it?
And I just used my gadget. What of it? But Diana on that mute will be cutting down on those Decabi calls. She'll be able to jam any incoming calls and block those. So we'll see if Yoshi's still effective despite the damage.
Yeah, well, Mons is sitting without any jammers, so the moment the calls are going to come through, her location could be revealed pretty quickly. Apart from that, everyone else is still just playing fairly safely. Hard Explodes will get her breach charge shot out, and instead it's Mint actually taking quite a fair bit of damage and could be running into Diana pretty soon. There it is, fantastic trade, but meanwhile it's Yoshi that got downed amidst all the chaos that was sown by Mons.
Don't know if it's possible to res Yoshi, but she's in such a risky position. If Mon just pushes hard, she would get 2 kills. Oh, and she gets it. There's still 2 more kills there, Mons, don't be shy, but they get the pickup on to Yoshi, so it's just...
And Yoshi's actually able to dish out some punishment back as well, so it's not like she the revival of her did not go unpunished. So there we go, already some good progress. But with her situation being on 20 health against 3 members of Forbidden, things might be looking a little bit dangerous there. So I don't think she was really expecting that peak, but nonetheless, at the very least, she will be able to fall back with 26 seconds left to go. Not a whole lot of things can be done here, so maybe she'll just try to go for a few exit frags, maybe just a stat pad, maybe just a little bit.
15 seconds to
Or
go.
maybe a cheeky hack onto those cameras.
Could be.
No, she's too tired. No.
Nice shot onto C4. Actually able to pick up a kill onto Finite, so that's already a good one. But an attempt at the plant could potentially be pretty much curbed. And well, it's Mons to finish off the round. Forbidden, 5th round. It's seeming that we might just be seeing a repetition of the Elevate matchup, maybe.
Yeah, and it's, we could say that maybe it's nerves, maybe it's excitement on Forbidden's behalf, but yeah, they're showing such a strong start. 5-0 on defense. You don't want to be giving up those rounds, that easily.
Yeah, especially when, at least from my memory, Enix was a fairly formidable roster to play, and they did manage to, I believe, get to at least middle of the leaderboard, if not like the higher end of it. So
Yeah.
it's kind of surprising to see them kind of get 5-0'd already.
Just want to talk a little bit about the mind games we were talking about before. Dinah on that Tachanka, she stayed Tachanka, and this time Weird One's on Tachanka. So maybe if I was Enix, I'd be like, oh well, Dinah's stuck on Tachanka, so Weird One might be sticking on Tachanka. They'd be expecting that thick chunky man on a turret, but instead we have that Mozzie ready to have some drones for himself.
Yeah, definitely mind games are going to be strong with Forbidden. Possibly Enix could fall for that bait, but we'll have to see whether it is true or not. For now, yeah, I mean, a Mozzie pick, I rate that, given that him plus, like, say, Mute, or even just by himself as well, he can deny some drone entries pretty well, and even if he's able to nab a drone, he's pretty much could be used as a kind of a secondary Valkyrie.
Oh yes, completely. Mon's playing right below that cocktail bar where she is. Dinah, you dirty dog.
Defender has left the designated.
Could we get another one?
Defender is exposed.
For a run out. This time does get detected, but at the very least now there's going to be a whole lot of questions as to whether Hard Exposed can even go for that push, and can she even get out of there safely?
You'd be scared if you were Hard Explodes.
Oh yeah, 100%. There is actually one more person right by the AC units, and Diana actually looks like she might be going in for that peek out, but maybe she got droned out there, so at the very least there's some information.
And yeah, I love this side of aggression from Dinah. When we've seen Elevate and Apocalypse, there wasn't a lot of small peaks, run outs, aggressive peaks. You're sure there was like expert gunning. But this is just not what you want if you're on Enix. You don't want to be caught by calling someone and instantly dying. It should be the other way around.
Yeah, Mons meanwhile also adds up to the kill tally and drops the diffuser as well, right outside the reading room entrance. So that is already in its entirety. It looks like another flawless round. The C4 to be Kobe'd around, won't be connecting anywhere. Will be there, but yeah, it's. I'm not too sure what is happening with Enix, just because, again, this could be kind of the first game jitters after a fair bit of a break. Maybe it's just seeming that Forbidden are just playing a little bit more of a confident game, and well, Diana with her scoreline definitely has been dedicating quite a fair bit to that success.
100%, and Soy gets the final pick onto Cheese Bender, and that's again another flawless round coming out from Forbidden. They're just so strong on defense. There's nothing that I can see Enix going against that. They're peaking aggressively, they're winning these gun frags. How do you go up against it?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. It's I mean, definitely it seems that the passiveness kind of that Enix were trying to pull off wasn't really working out, so maybe try to up the general aggression maybe that could work potentially against Forbidden. But even then, it seems that whenever there is a full-on aggression attempt from Enix, it seems that it gets curbed pretty swiftly by Forbidden. So who knows? Maybe it's just the general pacing that Enix are not ready for. Because yeah, once again, it's quite odd seeing that they're already on a 6-0 scoreline, which I mean,
It's like history repeating itself.
looks like, yeah.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
I think it's very interesting to see on Forbidden as well. I feel like they all have very high skill for gun skill, individual skill. Because look at this operator choice they're going with the Dino on the Amaru. You don't see that.
Yeah.
You just don't see that because it's so confident. Like you're confident that you give it drone it out, you give it to Amaru gadget your way in, instantly open up a window, you get like a rush or something happening.
Yeah, the confidence is definitely being shown here, even in the op picks. I'll definitely agree with you on that one. But I mean, with Amaru, ever since her buff, with the fact that she doesn't like straight away open the window, she can whip out her guns quickly, and as well as that, she can open up with her Gara hook the hash. It's definitely it's a big one, but yeah, it certainly won't be the big one for this round, as Yoshi is the one to find the shot. So maybe this is the beginning for Enix's comeback here.
It's a very strong position that Yoshi is actually holding, with that shield in front of her and with the ADS right behind her. That place is most commonly called pixel in a lot of like callouts, purely because you get a slight crack of a pixel to peek through to kill an attacker, whereas an attacker can't react in time to kill you, essentially.
Yeah. Well, the pixel angle did definitely work out quite well. I just only realized Mons is on a 10-0 KD ratio.
Oh, wow.
That is huge. She was able to not only frag out, but also able to preserve herself throughout all of these rounds. So that will be a huge achievement for her as well on the first day of Women's League Season 2, if she's able to go full-on flawless throughout the whole match.
That's a very impressive KD then.
Yeah, that would be an impressive KD even further down the line if some of the games wouldn't be as great on the performance. At the very least, that 10 KD will be definitely quite something to talk about.
And I think this really reflects on, if we look at the deaths on Forbidden reflecting onto Enix. Enix just have so many more deaths due to, losing the rounds. But also look at the deaths on Forbidden, they're not dying early, they're staying alive, they're not playing rash, and one's getting that impact onto the shield in Pixel and picking up, Yoshi behind it. What can you do without that shield? Not much.
Yeah, not much. I'm not too sure what Yoshi was expecting there as well with her peak there. But at the very least, Mons has been slain. Good night to that flawless streak. It's all down to actually Soy and Finite Jest against Patan Dirtle and Mint as well. So, Pot and Dirtle, sorry. Yeah, at the moment right now, with time kind of slowly running out, the things might be looking a little bit dicey.
They both have drones available to use though, so yes, it's 30 seconds, but there's still enough time. But Soy, gets that kill onto Mint. She doesn't mind, she doesn't care, she's gonna go for it. Finite not knowing that Potan is in that corner, but Soy getting that instant information. Gets that one tap!
Oh!
He's exhausted,
There's a ghost dying. What?
Just a crack and she gets it, and that's that flawless 7-0 coming out from Forbidden. Wonderful work out from them.
Yeah, that was a one way to make a statement that they are planning to dominate here. I'm genuinely curious how will Forbidden versus Elevate go, because now that is a matchup that I would really be keen to see.
That'd be a hot match.
Yeah, that would be a hot match to witness. But alas, that is it, at least for that matchup. As massive congrats to Forbidden for taking the big dub, and yeah, that's it for them for tonight. I believe this is their match completed. But but yeah, any kind of so far thoughts as to how maybe Forbidden versus Elevate could be going down? Maybe.
Well, I think coming
Yeah.
out from Forbidden and just coming out from the operator choices that Forbidden have done, they have confident gunners on their team. Doesn't matter what operator they're going for. They're going to play aggressive. They're going to peek. They're going to spawn peek. They're going to push angles. They don't care. They're going to go for it. Whereas from what we've seen on Elevate's behalf, they played a lot more strategic. They were doing extended holds on defense. They weren't doing like standard stuff that you see in ranked. They were doing things that they obviously had practiced a lot of times and were confident in putting out. So I reckon it'd be like a great game of seeing, what wins, tacticalness or just gunning.
Yeah, because it seemed that Elevate were really prominent on the gunning. Well, actually, both of the teams, to be honest, were pretty good on the general kind of gun skill. So, yeah, I'm quite keen to see how even just the whole season in its entirety will be starting to unveil itself. Because with more teams now, generally in the season, I feel like we're going to see a very nice kind of range of different skill groups, some different matchups that could be still pretty close between some of the teams. Maybe some of the storylines as well forge themselves as we're going to be getting closer and closer to kind of close to the end of the season, as well as that who will be the one to nab away the ZQ Racing MVP prize as well. So a few interesting things to be seen, but that's it, I believe, from us. Any kind of closing thoughts before we finish, Pi?
Well, these two games tonight were so exciting. They were so interesting to watch. Both teams showed something new that obviously I'll be picking up and putting into my games as well. And I don't think that any other team wouldn't be doing that. If I was a team that was going to face up against Forbidden, I'd look at their strats for Cafe. I'd be like, that's how they hold. That's what they do. We're going to go against it. Same thing for Elevate. That triple story hold won't work again when they go into Oregon by another team. Teams are going to be like, drone that out. Drone it out, know what it is, cut them off. And, it's just so good to see teams, like improve themselves week by week. And that's what I'm most looking forward to.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll be definitely looking forward to how some of the strats would be evolving the moment some of the teams would realize that their initial ones wouldn't work. So, yeah. Looking forward to it, but from us, that is it tonight. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us and witnessing the beginning of the Season 2. And make sure to tune in once again next Thursday for some more of the Tactical Thursday goodness. And we will catch you in the next one. Take it easy and stay safe.
Bye!
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to the XP Esports TV channel. We are currently doing an unboxing of the Quantum Energy drink that we've been kindly sent from Quantum Energy, a proud sponsor of the coming up Women's League.
Yes, Season 2.
We've been sent this really nice kind package. It's got a beautiful design with their logo on it.
I haven't seen many packages with logos on the back.
No. So we'll just jump right into it and we'll start opening up. So first, it looks like we might have a shaker.
Fun set.
We also have, it looks like 2 different flavors.
Oh, let's go. Oh, that should be berry and apple, I think.
Berry and apple, okay. So, I've not tried any drinks at all from any sort of... It's a sporting energy drink, but...
Oh, it's like an energetic... Yeah.
It's a
like
drink for the community.
To stimulate your brainwaves.
It's definitely a drink for the community.
Alright,
so
let's go.
What do you think of that shaker?
I mean, it's nice black plastic. It feels pretty sturdy. It's quite large, I must say. Like,
Yeah. This first one that we're opening up here, you have flavor on the front there. We have a sour apple flavor. Ooh. I really, really like the design. It's simple, it's clean. You know, got all the details there you need to know. Nutrition, made in Australia. Open this one up, and this one here, which again, it's very similar design. Obviously, it's all color coded to their flavors. This is quantum berry flavor.
I'm tearing it up.
For gamers, by gamers. So, big shout out to the guys that have you know, made this company and brought this from the ground up. I remember really early on when they came in, it, you know, it started, like I said, from the ground, and they built it up. Scoop in there as well. What's the smell like?
That smells nice. Have a whiff of that.
Oh, that is a strong apple flavor.
Oh, did we get a scoop inside?
There's a scoop in there.
Oh, there's a scoop. Oh, lads, you're on it.
It smells like a Zappo.
That
Zappo. Smells exactly like a Zappo.
Old school days.
What's that one?
Ooh, berry. Very delicious. Love it.
What's that one smell like?
Berries, I guess.
That one's a bit different. It's definitely different.
I'd probably go the berries
Berry
over
flavour
the apple.
with ginseng and caffeine.
I'll keep the berry.
You
can have the apple.
Okay.
Oh, let's go. We got water.
Got water.
All right, we caught it.
Here you go, Alex.
All
Pour
right.
that in. You got your.
So 200 to 400 mils of it.
size,
All right, I'm just gonna. Oh, is it? Wait.
There is sizes.
Let's go.
I think I'm gonna try a weak one because I'm really curious. I like to weaken my cordial a lot. I don't know why.
Ooh. Then you lose the flavour.
I don't like water, but I don't like strong cordial. So.
Oh, the subtle taste.
Yeah.
It's not like over strong.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Nice.
I can definitely see why they say it's the community drink because I mean I could get addicted to that.
Yeah. Okay,
Whether it's safe to get addicted to, I can't
So
say. Is it? Probably.
That's the berry flavour one you tried.
Correct. Yeah. Don't spill it. All right.
Alex, move back.
Don't spill it.
Smells definitely changed. Smells Zappo-y, but
Well.
it is sour.
Mm-hmm.
I like sour in things.
Okay.
It's not extremely sour.
No.
Try it if you want.
Alright.
COVID sake.
COVID safe, 100%.
But it almost tastes like an apple juice. Like it's not there's definitely apple flavour there.
I see why they call it sour.
Sour.
Yeah.
But I like that consistency.
It's not
I
like
think-
extremely sour. It's just like a little bite. Yeah.
It's all about, slow and release energy, getting you through your gaming moments, during your streams, during your
100%.
big long slogs, the new Call of Duty's just come out and you're playing it for 12 hours straight. You just got to keep going.
I mean, or you're scrimming for Rainbow Six Siege Women's League coming up.
Exactly right. You never know your opportunity, but I think Quantum Energy has definitely hit the nail with this.
Yes.
Thank you to the guys over at Quantum Energy. Big shout out to you guys. Huge sponsors coming on board with the Women's League. That's starting coming up this
Next Thursday, yeah. We're 8 days left. Yep.
8 days left as recording this. 30th of July.
Yep.
Straight after the high school league.
Correct.
Rainbow
7
Six.
teams ready to go.
We're looking forward to it.
Gonna really appreciate this for the Women's League broadcast.
That'll
Get
keep
some long
Alex
days.
going. You are the
Up all
hours
night.
you put in are phenomenal. So there's the package one more time, and yeah, beautiful stuff.
Thanks, guys.